welcome back to Lise Loves Paper. It's been a while since I've done an art journal video, so I figured I'd try one today. We'll see how it goes. I'm feeling a little bit rusty. For the longest time lately, I've been really feeling the scrapbooking, so that's what you've been seeing. It's just been easier for me. I've been in a flow, and I haven't really been in as an art journaling mood, so we'll see how this goes. It might be a little bit of a struggle, but hopefully it comes together easily. You'll see we'll be doing, I think, something with this tissue or napkin here. But before we dive into it, I wanted to ask you guys a art journaling question. So I got this book recently. Let me move you up just a little here. It's a big book. I got it at a local book thrift store, and I just loved it, and I thought it would fit very well for an altered book journal idea that I've had. I, for the longest time, have been kicking around in my head having an art journal where the pages are based on songs or song lyrics or a feeling of a song. I think it'd be really, really fun to do. And this one just felt it looks a little rock and roll. But I wanted to know if you guys would be interested in seeing it from the beginning, like where I take this and I rip some of the pages out and I treat some of the pages with gesso and, prepare it before I start diving into it and making pages, or are you just interested in the page processes? So let me know in the comments below if you have a preference, but hopefully I'll get started in that soon. But today, let's get back to this one. And from here, I will probably put you on fast forward and voice over, and we'll see where this page takes us. So today I'm working in this little altered book journal here with a napkin. I found these napkins at Home Goods or Marshalls, I can't remember. But I really like using napkins, but I really try to find ones that have a very reusable motif on them. Like, some are just really pretty, but I can't see myself using them a lot. But this one, the stars, I don't know if you can actually see them. They are gold and a bit iridescent. And I figured that would be wonderful and easy to use in many different ways. So I definitely got a whole pack of that. And what I did was I had to peel the layers apart before I put them down. And if you noticed, I actually had to peel apart 2 layers. So there was the backing, and then when I did that first tear, I noticed that there was even more that I could tear off, and I did. And I like doing that because then that means that the background shows through where the white is. It just kind of melts into the page, which is beautiful. So here I am using matte gel medium just to glue it down all over the page. I will overlap some. I don't mind the wrinkles in there. I like the texture that they add I go on. So this is my paintbrush that is only for matte gel medium. You can see it has, if I slow down enough, there's a piece of washi tape wound around the end, and I do that so I don't forget that this is only to be used for matte gel medium because it kind of ruins your paintbrush. And you'll also notice that I am using a squeezy bottle of matte gel medium, and I have to say, most people I see using the tub of matte gel medium and they kind of dip their brush in there and painted on that way, but for some reason I so much prefer this, just squeezing the little bit that I need on my brush there. It's less messy for me, and I am in love with this, so I will happily pay a little bit more just to get the squeezy bottle. So I am adding several layers of the tissue paper, but I'm also not covering every single bit. I kind of wanted it to look random, like the stars were falling all over. I did mess up a couple on the left side over there. I don't know if I've messed with them yet. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. But I don't care. I didn't need it to look perfect. So I let it dry. Now I'm cutting off the edges here with some scissors. I'm loving the way this looks so far, but get yourself ready because we are going to take a left turn into, like, oh no, what have you done, Elise? What have you done? In the end, I'm happy with how it turned out, but I was clearly very rusty as we went through this. So I found a couple pieces that were still stuck up, so I went ahead and stuck them down, dried it off, and now I have some acrylic inks. And I will tell you, I knew going into this that I should have gessoed the page. I really should have put a layer of clear gesso over top of it, because what's happening here, I really wanted it to kind of like run down and make those pretty drips. But the page had a little gesso to begin with, and then of course it had some matte gel medium, but I knew that these inks were just going to kind of soak into the page because the pages themselves are very fibrous and they will soak it up, and you can see that. So watch and cringe with me as I make a giant mess of this page. I did like how some of the colors mixed together, and that was kind of my intent, was to make a little bit of a drippy rainbow across the top. So you can see the purple there on the right hand side and a little bit of orange on the left hand side. So at this point it was clear it was not working, so I went and got my trusty acrylics and decided to make a little bit of a rainbow that way instead. So that's what you're seeing me do here. I just keep going back to the drawers behind me to grab another color, and I'm just kind of placing them across the top here in a vague rainbowy order, keeping the bright colors, trying to match up with the inks that I already had there, because I was hoping that they would kind of play together rather than like covering it up completely. But you know, nothing ever works out like I wanted it on this page. So here I go, scraping so much paint over the tops of the pages. I had to go and unstick the pages from each other there. I don't know what kept happening on the right hand side. Like, if you didn't notice, I didn't, you know, clean off my brush as I was going across the rainbow. I did that intentionally to make things mix, and it did so nicely all the way across. And then I get down to the end, that blue really doesn't like mixing with the pink. The orange shows up again or something. I don't know what happens, but I struggled with it the whole time. So I thought maybe now that the acrylics are dry, I can put some inks back on top and get more of a drippy look. So that's what I'm trying here. And you can see it's already not going to plan. I get these giant drips, which again is not what I wanted. So I dab it up again. I think if I had sprays, that would work best here. Frustrated hands. I don't have sprays, so that's what I'm working with here. I'm fixing that problem spot again, making it brighter and pinker. I'm much happier with that. Putting all my lids back on. Are you a person who leaves lids off of things all the time? Because I am not. I can't stand it. Everything is dry now. So I decided I want to stamp something on there, and I do speed up the stamping process here to 8 times because nobody wants to see me stamp all of these letters out even at 4 times speed. So I decided to just embrace what was going on here, as you'll see. And I added a phrase here, which you can tell mess is the central word. I love the mix of stampy fonts I used here. So this is a freckled fawn one, the little one I'm using. The one I showed you earlier was an Allie Edwards thing, and I don't know if either one's available anymore, but I did show them to you, so if you want to pause and go look, you can. But again, I was aiming to just kind of embrace this because it is what it is. I do like the stars still. I like the page peeking through the background. I like the rainbow color, even if it's not exactly what I envisioned. So here I am. There I go. I had to tell myself, stop, leave the L alone, because the whole page is a mess. This is part of the message. Just let it go. It still bothers me that the L is not perfect, but you know, live and learn. So I knew about where I wanted the last word to fall across the spine there. I knew that I didn't want it all to be lined up on the left-hand side. So that's why I started with those letters in the center and worked out from there. In the end, it's going to say life's a mess sometimes, and I'm happy with that. I could have added things like, but it's okay, or, you know, something like that, but I didn't want to. I liked it short and sweet and to the point. Life's a mess sometimes. It is, you know. And sometimes art's a mess, and we just had to embrace it. So here I am adding the apostrophe because that stamp set didn't have one. And then I just wanted to add something else. So what else to add but splatters, and they make even more of a mess, as you will see right there. Embrace it. Let's go with it. You'll see. In the end, I'm happy with it, but that's this page. So life's a mess sometimes. Have a great day. Bye.